Hello and welcome to Kickin with Mera. I'm your girl Mera, and today I'm joined by my friend Jean. And later I'll be joined by my home skillet biscuit, Peter Cabranes, and we're going to discuss the 2017 Grammy Awards. But for right now, so many things have been happening, so we have to discuss it. Let's get started. Okay, Jean, we are in the month of February, so I have to start the show off by talking about Black History Month, of course. Now, how do you suggest people celebrate Black History Month? I mean, we ask for this month, so how do we celebrate it?
Well, I say in schools, what we can do, the teachers could try to send, to take a trip with kids to go to like Black History museums to learn more about Black history itself. I'd say for us older people, we can try listening to some jazz music from famous musicians like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Miles Davis. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Little things like that can you can celebrate Black History Month.
Good ideas, good ideas. I feel like we asked for this month, and I think that we get on like the opposite race for not understanding or being educated on our history, but a lot of us aren't even educated on our own history. So I feel like in order to celebrate something, you have to understand it first.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right?
Definitely.
I remember my freshman year of college, and I was in an English class, and we were reading like a Malcolm X books, and the professor had asked the students, you know, are you familiar with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King? And I was the only one in the class who raised my hand.
You're kidding.
The only one.
Wow, bunch of morons. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you not know MLK? That guy's one of the GOATs.
Yeah, he's one of the GOATs. Now, there's been a lot of films that have been hitting the theaters in 2016 and 2017 that have touched topics in Black history. How much do you appreciate these films, Jean?
For me, I'm happy they do these kind of films because they do bring to light various people that were very influential to our time, but there are things we don't know about. Like, for example, I enjoyed 12 Years a Slave. I thought that was a pretty good movie.
It was.
The one that they had this last year, was it last year? Hidden Figures was last year, I believe?
No, it was.
This year?
Was it this year? I think it was, yeah.
I think this year? Right, that movie about the three mathematicians that I had no idea they were involved in NASA. So for the reasons like that, I support those Black films. Probably can tone down the the mentions of slavery a lot. Like I get it, yes, it did happen, but there are certain things you don't need to put that much. Like Hidden Figures didn't do that much. It was basically a focus on those three mathematicians and what they did in NASA. Yes, there was race complications there, but you didn't see much of what slavery was. So for that kind of reason, I think, yeah, it's a little too much slavery, but for movies like that, I support that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I appreciate these films as well because, I mean, even though I'm a Black person, I don't know every single detail about Black history, and like I'll admit that. Like I'm not afraid to say that. So even watching Hidden Figures or movies like 12 Years a Slave, I learned something new. Even when I watch like the Martin Luther King movies that come on during Black History Month,
right.
I learned things about Black History Month and about Martin Luther King that I never knew, from the textbooks, because they don't teach you everything in school.
I agree, they don't.
They don't. Next, I want to talk about one of the most special days of the year, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a holiday loved by most. However, Valentine's Day can sometimes come off as being a bit cliche. People say every day with your significant other should feel like Valentine's Day. Why do you need one specific day to treat them special? So, Jean, what's your take on this special day?
Like you said earlier, this whole special day thing, I'm not a fan of it. I feel like, as you said earlier, every day should be considered Valentine's Day. I don't see why you need a special day in particular to love your significant other more than you do all the other days. I get the whole hearts and chocolates thing, but I feel, for me personally, like I'm not saying I would give her that every day because I ain't rich, but at times like this, yes. But the whole concept of I feel like I should love her more on Valentine's Day than all the other days. I'm like, come on, man, that's BS. You're supposed to be loving her as much as you do on a Sunday. You should be loving her on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day.
Okay, Jean. I agree with you. I mean, I feel like Valentine's Day is all about business. Like, it's all
Yeah.
about getting jewelry sold,
Yeah.
getting chocolate sold.
Macy's
because
makes a quick buck out of that.
Macy's makes a
quick
great buck out of this.
Quick buck.
Because, I don't know, if you think about a lot of holidays, like, not to bring up, like, Christmas and all that, but a lot of people add things onto these holidays to like make you go out and buy stuff. Like, holidays shouldn't be about that. So I think that people should think about, okay, if I'm celebrating this holiday, what's the true meaning of it? Or like, you know, what am I really doing this for? Is it really necessary?
Right.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of love, our generation has an interesting way of dating. According to the Huffington Post, millennials have a difficult way in even explaining what dating is. There's dating, talking, hooking up, dating apps, the quick jump, and then there's finally the best way to actually have a relationship. Now, this is overwhelming to me, so what's your take on all of this?
Okay. Well, the part that you said about the dating apps, I don't understand that. For me personally, guys that are in, like, I'm going to say my generation, what I consider to be the people who are in college and the ones that are in grad school. To me, when I hear this whole concept of dating apps, I think it's pathetic to people around my generation, because it's like, why do you need a dating app when there are a bunch of chicks?
Some people may need it.
That's what wingmen are for. For me personally, I don't get it. That's why I say, to me, guys, you're pathetic. You're pathetic for using those kind of dating apps, because you can easily just go out there and talk to a chick. There's someone for everybody. You don't need a dating app to write how I like this, I don't like this. Just go to the girl and talk to her. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. The older men who use it, fine, whatever. They're not my concern. I'm talking about my generation now, because I noticed that a lot more people use it in my generation than others. I should not be seeing that. I should be seeing zero for that for that. Okay, so for me personally, I'm not into this.
I think it's because we're like social media savvy. We do like things online like all the time.
Yeah, but see, I guess then I'm the one with the old school mentality of, if I like a chick or if I'm interested, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm not going to go, oh, man, my name is blah, 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 blah. I like blah, 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 blah. What do you like? Like, no. Go to her face and say, hey, how you doing? I'm so-so. I like this. You like what? And then that's how it goes.
Okay, now according to the Huffington Post, I just mentioned something about a quick jump. Now, a quick jump is when you go from hooking up with the person to, I guess, discovering that you actually have feelings for the person. So then you guys start like dating and you're in a relationship.
That's what they call it?
It makes no sense to me, but
wow, I didn't know that's what they called it.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, I guess that's okay. I got no problem with that. If that's how you feel, like, yes, you sometimes when you're with a friend for a long time, you don't know how you feel about them until a certain point. Sometimes a circumstance does happen that makes you go, wow, I never thought of you that way, but now I do. And now, of course, that usually surprises me, because sometimes they get nervous to talk to that girl now, because they feel like, man, now I love her. I can't see her the same way as I did before.
Right. Yeah, they say that the difference between our generation and say our parents or like the older generation is that it's the way we go about getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, not necessarily the relationship and how it is, but the way we do it. Like, we're more social media, dating,
the dating app,
getting a friend from a friend, stuff like that.
Yeah, but you see, it's more so the dating app.
Yeah.
Which is the coward's way out. Cowards.
There's nothing wrong with dating apps. It's not for me personally, and clearly it's not for you.
It's not, more so for guys. I'm talking about the guys. The guys more so. The women, I don't know.
So you think it's okay for a woman to use?
I'm not saying. I'm saying that for the guys specifically, because there's some guys that I do know that use it, and I'm just like, dude, why are you doing this, son? Delete that stuff off your phone, bro. Get that off your tablet, man. I don't want to see that. You don't need to. There's a bunch of chicks out there. Just go talk to them. Go talk to them.
Yeah. Well, Gene, it was a pleasure having you join me today.
Thank you. I enjoyed the time.
Next up, Peter and I will discuss the 2017 Grammy Awards.
Oh, God, Peter.
Are you a listener? Do you have ears? If you have ears, then you would love this brand new thing we got going on here. It's a thing that requires ears. It's a little thing called a podcast. Believe it or not,
Podcast.
Those things on the side of your head, they have a function.
Welcome back. I have my home skillet biscuit, Peter Cabranes, here with me to discuss the Grammys. So, Peter, let's jump right into it.
Awesome. Let's go.
This guy's a clown.
Thank you.
Anyways, okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is Adele's opening performance.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about it?
I think it was amazing seeing Adele back on the big stage again at the Grammys, where she dominates. And just like she did last night, she dominated the whole show. It was beautiful to see her sing that wonderful song that well deserved the Record of the Year.
True, true. I think that she makes singing seem very effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to Beyonce, she doesn't need dancers, anything. Like her voice says it all.
Right, indeed.
Says it
Yeah,
all.
very much so.
Okay, so Chance the Rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is?
Of course I do. I don't follow him as much, but, I do know who he is.
Okay, so Chance the Rapper is the first black artist since 1999 to win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So what do you think about that?
I think it's well deserved, being the fact that he came up against Chainsmokers and 21 Pilots and some country singer that no one cares about. To see him win that was pretty cool. I like his music. I do like the few songs that you do hear. I do enjoy them, and I can't stand 21 Pilots and Chainsmokers. So I'm glad he won.
Yeah, I don't even know who 21 Pilots is. I do like that one song I don't remember from the Chainsmokers.
Yeah, that annoying
Yeah,
love
it's
song.
kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But moving on, so Solange, Beyonce's sister, she won her very first Grammy. What do you think about that?
Like we spoke about before the show, I didn't even know she was a singer. I didn't even know that she was up for anything. I just thought she was like Beyonce's little sister there. I had no idea. So it's kind of cool, to see another one of the Beyonce, another one's from the Knowles family winning an award. So it's kind of
Yes,
cool.
I know their mother and father are very proud.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Knowles family, let's talk about Beyonce's performance.
Whatever the hell that was.
Everyone loved her performance because it's Beyonce and she could literally fall off stage and people are still going to like it. Me personally, I did not like it. I think Beyonce is an amazing vocalist, but I feel like she did too much.
Oh, yeah.
And then she sung like half of a song, and then I'm like, wait, what is this? It wasn't a Grammy performance to me. I would have preferred her to stay still and sing one complete song.
Right, like she's done in the past. She's come out in a white dress and sung a beautiful song. This, comparing yourself to some like mythological gods and creatures, was kind of very, mind blowing for me and kind of a weird mind. But it was cool to see her on stage. But again, I like you. I didn't agree with it. I didn't like it that much. Yeah, cool that you're pregnant and you're out, still performing and all that, but you could have chose a better way to kind of do it.
Yes, yes. Now, one of the other talks of the Grammy, like the major trending things, was that Adele took a stand and stopped her Grammy performance, her tribute to George Michael.
Yeah.
I think she had messed up the notes in the beginning, so she wanted to do him justice and start over. What did you think about that?
Well, they're both Aussies, so that's pretty cool to give her
Yeah.
love and support to a man that meant so much to her. And it seemed like when the performance was over, it seemed as if everyone was there supporting her, supporting him. So it was beautiful to see. And yeah, why? There is a time limit to the Grammys, but they always go over, so that wasn't a big deal. And she did a touching tribute to a very good song, and she completely changed it up. So it was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, I think she's definitely a perfectionist because even after her great performance we thought was amazing, she still didn't think that it was enough, and she started to cry and stuff like that. Yeah, but I want to move along to Lady Gaga's performance.
My soul.
Lady Gaga and Metallica. Oh my gosh. Personally, I'm still fresh off of Lady Gaga at the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I would have been perfectly fine if she didn't perform at the Grammys.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and then she completely switched and now she's a rock artist. I'm just lost. So what do you think?
It's cool seeing Gaga go from the girl that used to wear the raw meat to singing with Tony Bennett and then now singing back at rock ballads. So it's kind of cool seeing that. I enjoyed the performance. My only gripe with it was the fact that my guys, from Metallica, his microphone wasn't working. So come on, Grammys, you had some issues last night with that. But, her performance overall was pretty cool, and her jumping into the crowd was awesome.
Yeah, she actually almost tripped doing all that crazy stuff. It wasn't that noticeable, but because I was I was paying close attention, I noticed it. But I love Lady Gaga. She's very versatile. She can do almost anything, which is great. So moving on to something that I know you want to talk about, which is the Prince tribute. I know you love Prince. So what did you think about that?
I couldn't when they said they were going to do a Prince tribute, I was like, who's going to sing it? And first they brought out, I can't remember the man's name, but the guy that first sang that first song. And then they brought out Bruno Mars dressed as Prince, and I was like, "Oh my God, that is perfect!" Like, who was gonna be Prince as a tribute? I wouldn't have thought about anyone, but I guess they got the perfect guy because I think Bruno Mars did an amazing job tributing the great Prince.
He did. I think that the whole performance overall with both of the artists were like amazing, really good. And they haven't done like at any awards show really, minus the BET Awards, they haven't really paid like a great tribute to Prince. So I think that this like did him justice. Like he'd be very proud.
It was well worth the watch and the wait because we waited till what 11:30 to almost see that. So
yeah,
it was well worth the wait.
It was. The Grammys was very good as a whole.
Overall, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so record of the year. That's something that a lot of people are talking about. Adele
definitely.
won for Hello. It was up against Beyonce's Formation. Her and Beyonce were like head to head in majority of the categories. Adele, during her acceptance speech, this was the first time she got on stage and she was like, you know, Beyonce, I want you to be my mommy. You know, I love you so much. Da 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 da. What'd you think about that?
I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know Adele's burst into stardom, but I'm sure at some point Beyonce was a part of that, whether it was when she was starting out or whatever. But for most of these new artists, Beyonce is kind of like the stepping platform for some, just like Elvis was for others and the Beatles were and Michael Jackson and so forth. So Beyonce's at that point for a lot of people. And yeah, paid tribute to one of the living greats. I mean, Beyonce. To go as far and give your award to her, that's interesting.
Yeah, at the end she did, you know, give her, well, I don't know if she physically gave it to
Right.
Beyonce. We didn't see that part, but she went on to, you know, say that, you know, Beyonce, for the past 17 years, you've been my idol, and your Lemonade album was amazing to me and my black friends, she said.
Yes, she did say that.
She specified that. I don't know why she had to say her black friends. I know that Beyonce, you know,
Maybe Australian black people
race,
are very different. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I think what she was trying to get off with that is not only are my very close, you know, Australian white friends like it, but so do my rest of everybody else. And
Yeah,
and also, I guess
get
she's
it.
saying like, for a culture, I guess, or
Yeah.
for people,
She should
your
have said
music
culture.
resonates with them. That's what she probably should have said. And that album, Lemonade, has resonated with a lot of people of all colors and all backgrounds, because it's a beautiful, well-made album. It tells a story, so it's pretty great.
It does. It tells a story. I don't think Adele's album really tells a story.
Right.
It's great, but it doesn't tell a story.
Yeah.
So that's like the difference. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, referring to the Grammys, is the joke made about Kanye. The host made a joke. You know, I was excited because I thought Kanye was about to come out on stage. I was like, oh my gosh, he wasn't in the audience. He's about to come out on stage. And then he was like, oh, I always confuse Kanye with the CEO of the you know, Grammy Academy. And then he came out on stage. So I was like, that wasn't a nice joke.
You don't think it was a nice
Because first of
joke?
all, I think Kanye was nominated for like 8 Grammys. He didn't win not one. And I felt like the joke on top of that was like a slap in the face to Kanye, in my opinion, as a Kanye fan.
Interesting. I mean, it was a joke. I mean, it's not like he made a racist bait joke at Kanye. All he did was just, you know, come on. Kanye, for most people, is the biggest superstar alive right now, at least in music, for a lot of people. And then, you know, maybe Beyonce. You could argue between them. So I guess teasing that, it's, you know, like teasing, again, like I said, any other big star from back in the day saying they were at the Grammys. So, also, I don't think Kanye deserved to win Best Album. We could argue that, but whatever. So you know, big deal that he didn't win.
Best
but
rap album?
anything. Like I don't think, like I'm not a big Kanye fan.
I think people underestimated that album. That was an amazing album.
Yeah,
It was.
I think Drake's Views had a better chance of winning more awards than Kanye's did, but that's a different
I think Drake,
issue.
with Drake, you don't know if he's in the rap category, the R&B
He's Dominican
category.
one day, yeah.
He's Dominican one day, like
That's true.
Jamaican the next.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, it was just a joke. I think it was totally okay what he said there.
I guess. I wish Kanye was there, and Kim, and North, and Saint. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank my special guests, Peter and Jean, for coming here and kicking it with me. See you all next time.